What's up, folks, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Lucas and this is Living the Outer Banks. Today it's just after Hurricanes Imelda and Umberto have passed by the island. We've been getting a ton of storm surge and a lot of currents, a lot of wind. Still a little windy today, blowing out of the northeast. But today I'm gonna go run over to Frisco Rod and Gun and grab some bait. We're gonna go over the dune here and see if we can do some surf fishing. Sometimes a good current kicks up a good bite, so I'm excited to see what we can get into. Right now we're filming on my Canon R6 MK2. It is shooting in 4K 60 frames. I got into photography recently on the island and decided, you know what, with this camera I can also record some video. So looking forward to getting some pretty good quality shots for you guys. So stick around. We're gonna get out there. I've got my gimbal set up, I've got a tripod, and it's gonna follow me around just like this. So looking forward to what we're about to get into. Hopefully get some sick shots and maybe catch some fish. So thank you if you haven't already. Go down below, hit subscribe, leave a like, and comment your favorite part of the video or what you wanna see next. All right, you guys, so I'm back in the truck. We're gonna run down to Frisco Rod and Gun. I wanna do some surf fishing, so I'm thinking we're gonna get some squid. It's a little rough out there, so I also wanna pick up a Sputnik sinker. If you don't know what that is, you're gonna see what it is pretty soon. I wanna make sure that we've got a decent chance of catching something. Most things eat squid. Yes, shrimp is usually a bit better for a higher chance of getting some bites. However, my big issue with shrimp is that it falls off very, very easily, especially in a strong current. So instead, I'm gonna get some, I think it's called Lunts. It is a full frozen squid. It's in that box. It's like, looks like a pencil box, but it's made out of cardboard. If you've been fishing in the saltwater areas, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So we're gonna grab some of that, I'll throw in the bed of the truck so it can start thawing out. And then I'm gonna get our beach buggy and get it over to the dune. Still shooting on the camera here, loving it so far. Once I get it up on the tripod, I've already checked and it does track really well. You're gonna see me do this a lot because it turns on and off the tracking on here, which is kind of cool. So in the meantime, you guys are gonna watch me drive to Frisco Rod and Gun real quick. And then I'm probably not gonna take you inside because this is a pretty big rig. I don't have to talk to some of the guys about, you know, if that's cool or not. But enjoy the ride. All right, off we go. So we're gonna go over the usual spot. Well, there is no beach. Wow. That's, all right guys, so we are back on the beach here. We've got the camera up on the tripod on the gimbal. It's a little nerve-wracking because it's kind of precariously teetering. We're on kind of like a slope going down, so it does make me a little nervous. I might have to rotate it a little bit. But I'm gonna hook up our 12-foot surf rod. It's gonna be on a Sputnik sinker. We've got a 7-ounce Sputnik. We're gonna have some frozen squid. It's gonna be a whole squid cut into pieces. So that's gonna be the goal today. I'm gonna flip you guys around so you can see what we're dealing with. Look at that. That is, it's not the worst day I've seen out here, but there's definitely some current. It should be interesting. A lot of the drums start running when it gets rough like this, and if you have something to keep your bait in place, like a Sputnik sinker, usually you can get some pretty good results. So I'm excited. We're gonna see what happens next. So I'm gonna get that rigged up real quick and we're gonna get going. Grab my rod without running into it. Try to make sure I keep the tracking going here. Cast here. Make sure everything's good to go. Nice and tight. And then Sputnik, send it out. Nice. All right, so I'll kind of walk it in here. So what we're looking for right now, I'm gonna reel it in slightly. We're gonna wait for that sinker to drag onto the bottom. So there's 4 metal spindles, essentially these little metal rods that stick out from the weight, and they hold tension when they dig into the sand. Once you actually pull on this and you get a bite, there's like a little indentation that these rods sit in with a piece of plastic, essentially, and the piece of plastic slips out of that groove and it releases the weight so you can reel it in, so you're not fighting a weight along the bottom while you're fighting a fish. Right now, it's been some much better weather here. A lot of good pier fishing, some pretty solid sized bull drum. We are in the beginning of October, so it is that time of season where the drum are running, you know, that March, April time frame, going into May, and then September, October, sometimes going into November when the water cools back down. That is prime season for some pretty good sized drum. So again, we're running the 12-foot Tsunami extra heavy. It's running, I want to say 30-pound braid and 50-pound monofilament, or 60-pound. I'm not 100% sure anymore. It's been a little bit. And we've got that 7-ounce Sputnik on there, and I've tied a Carolina rig, so a fish finding rig, so my bait can move freely throughout the, or my line can, through the weight itself, but the weight keeps it anchored down. So very happy with that. We're gonna wait and see what we get out of this. All right, so we're gonna reel it in here. Let it sit for about 10 minutes out there in the surf. It is, I can feel it. There it is. So it just popped out. So those little hooks dig into the ground until I set them. So we're gonna drag this back on in and see if we have any bait left. I'm kind of hoping we don't, to a degree, because something should have bit it by now if we did. Little product plug here. Been loving my Bajío 12 South sunglasses. Obviously I got them for that exact reason, which was, you know, a pair of sunglasses inspired by where you live is pretty cool, especially when it's named after the road that you drive down every day. So I figured, you know what, I'm an aviator guy. I've always liked wearing aviators, so I figured this would be pretty similar to my standard look, and I've loved them so far. They're glass instead of the polycarbonate, so they're super durable, they're super clear, and they do a good job of not like oversaturating colors, but they take a good amount of the glare off. So I love them so far. I wear them every day, so they are definitely a recommendation. If you're gonna spend some good money on sunglasses, do it. You're not gonna regret it. All right, so nothing's left here but Sputnik sinker. So I'm gonna go bait this back up and get it back out there. We're going to reel this in, see if there's any bait left. It's been another 10-15 minutes. It's good for about every so often, reel your bait, your rig back in, see if you have bait left on it, because if not, a hook with nothing on it, it's not going to help you much. But this is how surf fishing in the Outer Banks usually goes. A lot of trial and error. Usually I'd have a whole array of rods, small, like 7.5 foot rods with some small bait on there. But it's so rough today, and I've got, you know, so much equipment with me. I want to make sure I kept it pretty simple. So we have the big surf rod and squid. Those are some of the easiest things, and it's probably what most people are going to have. They're just going to go grab whatever tall rod they have and throw it out there with whatever bait's available. It's either going to be mullet or it's going to be squid or shrimp. And squid was just the flavor of the day today. They didn't have any mullet there, and I figured it would work just as well. So again, nothing on there. We're going to re-rack, send it out, and maybe I'll go a little bit closer in instead of trying to go as far as I can, just on the back of that bar, because I don't think I can reach the next one. It's been not great fishing, no real bites. I had some squid going there for a second, and honestly, it's just been pretty brutal. Bait's been gone every time. I'm not really sure if that's been mostly because of, you know, getting bites and small stuff going at it, or if it's more so, you know, there's such a strong current, it's ripping it right off the hook. The Sputnik did a good job. It held it exactly where I wanted it to. We're gonna go and try again tomorrow. So I'm gonna wrap up my stuff here. We're gonna get it back over the dune. I'm gonna do a little bit of editing. I'm sure I've told you guys already. I do a bit of photography for the island. I kind of do it for myself and trying to help out businesses where I can. So if anybody's looking for someone to take drone photos or drone videos, edit something together, take professional looking photography, please reach out. That is something I'm doing here on the island. I do have my Part 107. I have an R6 MK2 Canon, an array of lenses. I got a 100 to 400 millimeter lens. I've got this one here. It's a 24 to 50 for, again, this kind of filming selfie mode. And I got a nifty 50. It's great for portraits. Camera does an amazing job. And I've got the Mini 4 Pro, which is just, I mean, absolute unit of a unit of a drone for as small as it is, honestly. So it is quite a small drone, but it does an amazing job. I get some great 4K footage out of it. So anyway, you'll probably see some more stuff edited back in here, but we're gonna be back out tomorrow. I still have a good bit of squid. Maybe I can get out early enough in the morning and we can get some good stuff done. So again, shout out to these guys right here, Bajillo. See if I can get it to focus. Right there. Shout out to these guys. It is an awesome lens. I'm so happy that I switched to these. You know, I tried to go the cheap route for a little while, and you know, my biggest gripe has been polycarbonate lenses scratch so easily. And I'm kind of rough on my sunglasses to a degree, but you know, they get bumped around, they get dropped, and all of a sudden it's scratched and it's done. These are glass, so they really hold up well, and they're super clear. I put my old sunglasses on the other day because I left these at home on a cloudy day and it got sunny. I was like, oh, let me throw those on. It looked horrible, honestly. So anyway, over the dune we go. Hopefully we can get some more action tomorrow. I'll see you then. All right, guys, what is up? And we are back. So it's the next day. We are about to go into a low tide cycle. So I'm gonna grab the same little beach cart we just had yesterday, drag it on over. I still have my baits frozen right now, and we're gonna run across the dune and get it out there as quickly as we can. Still pretty breezy. I'm imagining it's gonna be kind of rough out there, but day two, let's see what we can get into. All right, folks, so we've made it out here. Should be still transmitting here. Yeah, we've made it out here, and the beach has definitely expanded a bit, which is awesome. Yesterday, as you know, like if I was standing here, I would have been in the water already. So we've got another probably about 20, 30 yards of beach. We're at a low tide, so I can see that breaking wave there, showing me where that sandbar is. We're gonna cast right up onto that sandbar, just before it probably. A lot of those big fish, if they've been running through this channel essentially, or slough, most of them are gonna be trapped in that area. So some of them are gonna try to jump over that sandbar or, like, you know, ambush something on the other side of it. But hopefully this little deep trough there has some fish in it. But always try to fish near structure if you can. It's like a city for fish. If there's structure, you're more likely to see some action there. It's not guaranteed, but you know, it's better than nothing. So, all right, I'm gonna go get this set up here and we'll see how it goes. We are going to send it out. Got a good chunk of squid on right now. I've got a ton of it. I don't know if I'm gonna use all of it this weekend, so I might as well use some pretty good chunks here. I've got the surf rod set up. Again, we're using that 7-ounce Sputnik chunk of squid on the end of it off our 12-foot extra heavy surf rod. I'm gonna turn around here. You're gonna follow me. And I might get darked out here, but if you can see behind me, it's not too rough right now, but it definitely is a bit of swell. You can see those waves breaking just out there. That break right there, that's where the sandbar is. So my goal is to get out as close to that as I can right before it. So I'm gonna put these gloves on because braid is sharp and I don't want to slice my finger open again. because I've done it too many times. So I use these mechanics gloves, and they're actually really handy because they're not very abrasive, so they don't destroy your line, but they protect your fingers pretty good. We're gonna get this there. I like to tighten my drag all the way up. Reason being, when you put that much force and pressure when you cast, you don't want the drag to slip at the same time. So we're gonna just let her rip here. I'm gonna get as close as I can to the action here and then just let one rip. Make sure your bail's open, because if not, you're gonna snap this off in a heartbeat. Also make sure that your line is going through your guides. It's another way to break something. All right, let's go. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. All right, so that Sputnik is out there. Wasn't a horrible cast, it wasn't my greatest, but we're just starting the day out. So, I've got this thing set now. I'm gonna take a couple steps back, and I can feel it. Also, loosen your drag, because if you put this rod down with a tight drag like that and something does grab it, you're in for a ride. Another tip, these spinning reels, great for beginners, obviously, casting wise. They do a pretty good job. You're not gonna get conventional distance out of them, but they're still pretty good. One big thing though is if your drag is loose and you're cranking that thing over, you're spinning your line, especially braid. So this is still spinning in a circle and it's not coming down, which means that you're twisting your braid. So if you hear it going squealing as you're cranking, you're doing something wrong. Either let the fish run if it's running, or tighten your drag if you're pulling something in. Because if not, you'll get a wind knot one of the times you cast out there. So, little piece of advice. So far, no bites, nothing. Oops. So we're gonna pull in the line. It's probably been about 10 minutes or so. There it is. It's always a fun time. The Sputniks get buried real good. I mean, there's enough force and current, tide, waves pounding over the line. They're gonna bury in there pretty good, which is great if you're somewhere it's really, really rough, and your concern is a drifting line. So definitely doing what it's marketed to do. Just put more bait back on here. We got a little bit more squid put on as well. Not sure if you can see that from there, but I put some Procure on there. Fun fact, Procure is very sticky. Like it's supposed to stick to whatever bait you have. Not as much on like actual bait. It does not stick to squid. Like it's so slimy that it just repels each other like water and oil. So if you're curious, it is difficult to put on there if you have squid. And that'll do. I'm gonna hold on to this one for a minute because in the case that I've been getting some bites right off the rip, I wanna make sure that I have a chance of setting that hook, if need be. A lot of these fish, they're gonna take it and just run with it and set the hook on their own. But sometimes it's good to have the rod in hand so you don't miss an opportunity. So again, if you've gotten this far in the video, please go ahead and leave a like, comment down below. These things really help push the video out for more people to watch. Obviously it tells me that I'm doing something right, or if I'm not doing something right, well, let me know what I need to change. That way I can keep making better and better content for you guys. And obviously the hope is gonna be more and more videos coming out, better quality, and the channel keeps growing and growing. So thank you for everybody who subscribed already. If you haven't, please go down below and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're subscribed if you think you are. And yeah, we appreciate it. Back to this, thought I felt a little bit of a nibble. little bit more than what the waves would do. There's a pelican out there who's just next to my line, so I'm imagining it might be something in that area. We'll see. But if we get anything, I'm expecting a pretty solid hit from it. So to talk a little bit about the camera you're watching this on, I originally had a Canon 40D, it's an old DSLR camera. Thing came out somewhere like 2007. Great camera for the time, probably one of the best beginner cameras that you can get, especially nowadays. I got it on Facebook Marketplace for about 200 bucks. The camera body and 2 lenses. And I originally got it for one of my buddies because he was starting to get into photography or had been considering it. And I was like, well, it'd be a cool like starter camera, good birthday present. He ended up actually getting a different camera as a hand-me-down from his parents. So it kind of worked out, but I had already bought the camera I had, or the 40D there. So I decided, you know what, I bought it, I might as well use it, see what it's like. And I fell in love with it very quickly. So from there, I kept taking pictures around the island, posting them on my Instagram, started getting better at editing, and started realizing that, you know, the thought process between the photography side of getting a shot and framing that can help you a lot on this side, where you're shooting a video, trying to tell a story of, you know, life in the island of, you know, this is what a day of fishing looks like. You know, get up, get your stuff. These are the things you get. Go across your fishing spot. This is how you set up. This is what you think about when you go and you cast. And then the results, hopefully, that, you know, on a good day, you're pulling in fish because you did something right. Or if you did something wrong and you realize and you kind of share the crowd or share the class. So from that 40D, it's, I think, only a 10 megapixel sensor. So it's definitely, it suffered in low light a lot. It suffered in cropping a lot. So I ended up started looking at a replacement, something else, thought, you know, a nice upgrade essentially. And I started looking into some other DSLRs, wanting to keep my lenses, and I thought, you know, well, the lenses are old too. Talking about 15 to 20 years old. So I thought, well, let's just go up an extra step and see what's the best I can get into without going absolutely ridiculous into like high pro level cameras. And I came across the R6 MK2. And at the time I was really thinking about recording anything video. That's not really my thing. I remember my parents having an old Canon or Sony DSLR, and if you record anything with it, you know, it's a 1080p and it kind of looked kind of crappy and you're like, it's like a camcorder. Well, for, you know, laughs and giggles here, I decided to record one video with this camera and immediately saw the potential for a really good quality recording tool. So now I've got this R6 MK2 to wrap it all up with a DJI RS4 Mini, the Ronin, and that is supposed to stabilize a lot of my footage. It also happens to act like a tripod. So it has a tripod built in. It also has a 1/4-inch screw adapter to screw in a tripod, like a larger one that I'm on right now, to it. That allows me to get rid of my 360 camera. Like, I had an Insta360 X4. It was so-so. Honestly, my biggest complaint was the editing tool. Their platform for editing lacked. They had an update and it destroyed it for me. It was very difficult to render everything and put it all together, get it to track something without spending a ton of time uploading the footage from the X4 to my iPad or editing right there, actually editing it to the way I wanted it, saving that, and then exporting it again somewhere else so I can actually do the rest of the edit that I was supposed to do, mix it with my GoPro or whatever else. And the quality wasn't great because obviously you have a massive lens looking at all directions, recording in all directions. It can't focus. Not focus like focusing, but it's not concentrated where you want it. And then the color was meh. Once you crop down, you lost a lot of quality. And it was just a pain. Honestly, it was a pain. So to have a microphone on there, you have to have a whole rig and adapter. It's good for like boat shots. If I want to put it on the boat and we're going, I want to catch 360 of something going on. If you want to catch everything going on, that's great. Didn't work for me. I got the DJI Osmo 5 Pro, so essentially their action camera, and it does great. I love it. However, it's very difficult to mount on something and keep yourself in the frame, doesn't track you, etc. Well, this gimbal, it has a tracking feature, so I can walk side to side and it keeps me in frame. And then I have a very powerful camera. It's a 24 megapixel sensor with a optical zoom lens, so physical zoom instead of a digital zoom, right? So in your phone, a lot of times you get 3 lenses, but then you can like zoom in more, and that you're essentially just zooming and cropping while the phone is taking a picture or video. So you're losing quality, you're losing pixels, and it doesn't look as good. So now with a lens, it's actually a glass lens zooming in, you can retain a lot of that quality because the information is still going to that sensor. So I'm able to keep a pretty good look to it. You get that nice portrait effect where it's kind of blurred behind me. I'm in focus. You don't get that from the GoPros or the action cameras, but they're great for when I want to have a shot of me reeling something in or doing something on the boat from a POV standpoint. They're great for that. This is really good for smooth shots, getting more cinematic panning shots while I'm on boat, trying to look at, oh, this, you know, our controls, and this is where the Garmin's look like, and here's us doing stuff in a, you know, slow motion cinematic way on the boat, or doing product reviews of some sort where I can get, you know, close zoomed in and focus on that thing and pan around. I can change that focus. You can't do that on action cameras. You can't change the aperture on an action camera. It's fixed. So it's super helpful for upping that quality. And my DJI mic goes right to the Canon, no problem. So I got this here with a receiver on top, and it's got a aux cord. You guys can hear me pretty good. I know, because I've already watched yesterday's footage and uploaded it because, or saved it. It's kind of it. So here's my rambling for the kind of equipment I'm using. I love it so far. It's been doing a great job, and it definitely made me want to come out here instantly again and go, I need to get some more footage, because if I do, it's gonna look awesome. All right guys, so we're gonna pack up again today. We spent a good bit of time here with the Sputnik rig and the bit of squid we had. I'm gonna probably go refreeze it. Today's Sunday, so it's the end of the weekend. So unfortunately we didn't get to pull anything in. Really no bites, but it's been pretty rough. Waves have been breaking pretty good, just at the second sandbar out there. Nothing really active. I've kept my bait for the most part. If I really get it on there, it has not been coming off from the current, which is good. But unfortunately, it means that there's nothing really biting right now. So it is the beginning of October. We're getting through a storm, and it's supposed to be cooling off more and more. So you're gonna see a little bit more content coming from the boat as well. We're gonna do some inshore fishing with some drum rods and trout rods, some paddle tails, stuff like that. And if we can get some winds that are not out of the east, we'll see if we can take the boat through the inlet now. We've got a track to take us all the way to Ocracoke. So the next one is going through the inlet, and that's gonna be an awesome video, so I hope you guys stick around for that. Hope you enjoy the video. This is kind of a, you know, unfortunately, didn't get anything out of, in the sense that we didn't catch anything, no good bites, but hope there's some good, interesting information, and at least it looked nice to watch compared to my usual stuff with the GoPros. So again, if you got to the end of the video and you haven't liked, please go ahead and make sure you've liked down below. Leave a comment, let me know what your favorite part was or what you want to see next, and definitely subscribe. My goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers here before the end of the year. I think we can do that, considering we got up to 500 like nothing, and then we're at 574 I think right now as we speak. I want to get those watch hours up, and hopefully by the end of the year we'll be at 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours. So if you're watching this, please go click on my channel. I've got another video about how to surf fish out here. It's done really well. It's my best video on the channel, 19,000 views. So if you give that a watch, I'd really appreciate it. And just go click on other videos. Give me some any sort of advice, any sort of feedback. I'd really appreciate it. So yeah, this has been Living the Outer Banks. I'm your host, Lucas. This is my home and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Thanks guys, have a good one.